Good morning. This is Bill from Auto Europa Naples, and I'm here today with the continuation of my descent into hell. I've got this 2008 Toyota Prius. It's a hybrid drive, as everybody on Earth knows. It has all of its own sort of connotations and things that come along with it, and it's exactly the type of car that I want nothing to do with. This is unbelievable. After the Accord a couple of days ago, I now am handed this 2008 Toyota Prius, and I just... Okay, look, I've got a very good friend of mine. In fact, I would almost call him a mentor. He's really the guy that got me into cars in the beginning. I won't name any names, but his name is Life, which is also kind of interesting because, he will tell someone that his name is Life, and they will correct him. They will say, no, Leaf. Leaf, you mean? And he'll say, no, Life. And they'll go, okay, nice to meet you, Leaf. And he'll say, yeah, let's go have a Heineken or a Budweiser. Anyway, that's beside the point. This is so difficult to get into. There's so many facets to this. I'm going to go into it again. I have another friend of mine, Kent, who was so far to the right that he's become left again. He's just completely lost it. He's putting tinfoil over his smart meters. He's just completely whacked out. And I think Life has done that in the car guy form. He's gone, so far towards the big blocks of the automotive technology and the insanity of the car world that he's come full circle, and he is now like the #1 supporter of the second generation Toyota Prius. He says it's as important to the car world as the original air-cooled Beetle. It's become the same sort of thing, which I had to have him explain to me. I don't doubt him because I don't have any particular love for old air-cooled Beetles either, but he said, okay, look, the two cars are absolutely iconic, and they became iconic by virtue of their practicality and their fuel mileage. That's, they were game changers. They changed the way people thought about cars. They were not in any way based on performance, unless performance, between the gas pumps was your thing. He said they also represented an identity for the people who drove them. So, there are definitely Beetle guys out there who are, and from the beginning, they're just Beetle people. And there are also Prius people. And then thirdly, they're all kept going by a bunch of aging hippies with weird repair shops and long white beards. So, anyway, he said this thing is the new air-cooled Beetle, and we'll get into some of that in a minute. He also likes pointing out that he suspects this car cost $1 million. He doesn't think that Toyota makes any money on them. He said the thing, they've got more financial might than, most European countries, the company of Toyota, and that they put all of their resources into making this thing, which became a giant leap forward. So I'm going to try to do this without yawning or taking my own life, and we're going to go forward. So the styling, okay, it's like, again, like a Star Trek shuttle. In fact, the whole thing reminds me of Star Trek, except if you took everything that I might like about Star Trek out of it, with, laser beams and photon torpedoes and, starship fight, all that's gone, and it's just gay communism in space, then, that's what the Prius represents to me. But anyway, to some people, they seem to dig it. Anyway, let's get inside the trunk. I'll go into some of the other stuff just as we go. So this thing is equipped with a smart key, which I'm told is a good thing in the second-gen Prius world. It means you can just keep the key in your pocket and use the car. You can see back here everything's fine. The thing is a one-owner car. 150,000 miles. It's been very well maintained at the dealership since new. Sorry for all my crap. I've got computers and bags and donuts for the guys and a impact gun for the race car. But anyway, everything fits back here nice. It still has the original cover, which is good. The seats fold down. Because this big, swooping, tall roof line, you get a ton of interior room in this car and cargo space, and it's very practical, which is just simply not a word that I find that entertaining about cars. So anyway, let's have a look under the hood. So anyway, he gets into this thing about the technology of this car being, almost beyond description, and that's fine. Okay, I get that. He said, if you took the whole thing and laid it out, you just took the car apart and laid everything across the garage floor, it would look like you had disassembled the lunar rover. And maybe he has a point. But anyway, under here we're going to find a 1.5 liter gasoline engine putting out about 75 horsepower. That's going to be mated to, a big electric drive. I think there's 2 electric drive. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a big Prius guy. I know some Prius geeks out there are going to see this, and they're going to be tempted to give, giant correction paragraphs in the comment section. I'm not claiming to be a Prius expert. I don't want to be a Prius expert, and, I promise you, your corrections are going to go wasted. So anyway, I'll give you the little bit that I think I know. And frankly, it is technology that is befuddling. But anyway, you've got this 1.5 liter gasoline engine. It's mated to at least 1 big electric motor, and I believe 2 that are tied together. It doesn't drive anything, the engine. There's no AC compressor or power steering or alternator that it's driving. It's just freewheeling, and all the accessory stuff is run by electric power. And of course, what that does is cause efficiency. So anyway, you can see everything is, real proper under there, no issues, looks fine, and is what it's supposed to be. I'll get more into the other stuff in a minute. Okay, in the back, in the back, it's a car, so you've got leg room for people. You can probably fit 3 guys back there. Your Canadians are going to sit in there and they're going to fall asleep in no time, so it's very peaceful. This cloth, I'm not a big fan of it. It just looks like it's made to attract dirt and stains, but it is, soft and grippy, so when you're sitting in it, you don't go sliding around. All right, it's fine. Okay. It's Toyota, so of course it's great fit and finish. It's not going to fall apart. There's going to be no issues. You hit a switch, they're going to work, and, that's what they do. So there, it's a back seat. It's a car. Have a look up front. This little button on the door handle, that's the smart key. So by pressing it, I can unlock it. You can hear it's now locked. And I just put my hand on it to open it. So it works just like keyless go in a Mercedes. It just happens to be in a car that has, been surgically altered to remove any considerable excitement from it whatsoever. Again, unless excitement is, fuel economy, which this thing then becomes the ultimate performer. In some ways more than electric cars, because electric cars, they're just about range. You're getting your range here and there. This thing with the balance between the gas and the electric, not only does it mean you can drive it to California fairly easily, you don't have to look for any charging stations. It means that the way that you drive it, you can alter the mileage and, play with that. And it's if you have any sort of nerdness to you, then that might appeal to you a little bit. It to some residue of an extent it did to me, but very, very little. Anyway, you've got, door panels again. You've got bucket seats, which are comfy. Let's get in. Fire this thing up. So it's got the weirdest dashboard on the planet. You press the button and you think nothing. Well, there, now it's started. So, but anyway, you've got this big digital display way forward up there. You can see we're in park. I've got the air conditioning on high, so let's turn that down for a minute. And of course, your accessories and, energy usage go towards whether or not the electric motor is running. All right, so we've got a steering wheel here with a bunch of controls on it. You can change your modes, your radios, that's what I got my glasses on. We got front and rear defrost. You got recycle. I don't know why you need to put recirculation on the dashboard. That really doesn't make, it's a button you don't really use that much, or at least I don't. All your HVAC controls are there, your radio controls, you got your stalks for the whatever, your wipers, front and rear, your headlights, they're all there. You've got this little, I don't know what you call it up there, digital readout. You can see the tire pressure crap isn't working as per usual. I'll try to get that fixed. We got 153 on the Odo. Oh my God, I have just descended into a place that I don't want to be. Anyway, That little digital readout goes all the way across, like, you know, some kind of shuttle. You got this little hump with this monitor here. This does give you a rear camera, which is great. That's part of this smart key package thing that's either touring or whatever. We've got our engine monitor. This, you know, from what I understand, this is just to give you something to look at. I mean, none of it really works the way the monitor is showing you. It's not, I mean, this thing is all about computer programming. It has almost nothing to do with the mechanical stuff going on. In fact, all the shifting, all the, there is no shifting, it's CVT, but I mean, whatever. All the stuff is controlled by a big computer. This is more like Microsoft than General Motors or even Toyota. But anyway, you can go through different modes, the current consumption, and I actually have no idea how you go through different modes. You hit display, that's nothing. Info, trip information, screen setting. Go over to climate. I'm just going to go through this. So you can see the climate controls, all touch screen. They're pretty nice and easy to use. Audio, we've got AM, FM. I don't know if it has SAT or anything. Let's see. And it goes right back to Energy Man. I don't know how you do band here. Maybe we get over here, mode. Yeah, all right, FM2, AM, FM. Okay, so no SAT. You're stuck without that. You're going to have to plug in a thing. You got your CD here. You've got, you do have a volume knob and a tuning knob, so I do appreciate that from Toyota. You got a fantastic place for your compact 9mm there, so if anyone's, you know, going to bash you for driving a Prius, you can pull that out and, well, you know what. If you need a bigger gun, second one, you can have it over there. And then a third glove box down here with a bunch of books and crap in it. The motors, sorry, the gas engine shut off again, so that's what it's supposed to do, I guess. I'm going to go over here with this weird little joystick shifter, and now we're in drive. You can see a little B next to the drive. That if I do this, we go into B mode, which I think a lot of people mistake for battery mode. Like it means it's going to run on the battery. It's not. I think that's actually like a hill descent thing. It even wastes energy. And here's where the Prius guys are going to come in and beat me up. Just don't bother or correct. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, if you go into B mode, it's going to slow you down on hills, and that energy may or may not go to the battery depending on how charged the battery is. So it really has nothing to do with driving around on the battery. I think that's inarguable. Going down the road, again, the surgical removal of any driving excitement. I've got this electric steering, which is, you know, it's fine. It's kind of devoid of road feel, but it's fine. It steers the car, which is what I suppose it's intended to do. You really don't feel any shifting or anything from the transmission, which is, you know, normal in a CVT. You know, life, again, he thinks that it just makes it the most fantastic commuter car. You know, that when if you're like a guy who works for FEMA, going in and out of, you know, driveways all the time to assess damage on people who are pretending they have hurricane problems so they can get federal government money, then it's the perfect car for you, because you'll be able to look at this guy, got a Sons of Anarchy out on his own in a perfect location to prevent me from competently turning to the right. I do love bicyclists. I know. Okay, they're fine. There are no problems at all. Anyway, where the hell was I? Okay, trying to squeak by this guy. Okay, I'm getting over it now. All right, another thing. Here's something that Toyota has mastered. So, regenerative braking. What that does is when you let off the gas, the engine starts braking for you. And in doing so, it recharges the battery. Now, one thing that does benefit you, and it does away with brake wear. So the brakes last a very long time in this car, which frankly they would anyway, because it's just a little car. But anyway, I guess that lasts twice as long as if you just had a Corolla or something, and, you know, there it is. One of the great tricks to hybrids and electric cars is making the regenerative braking system smooth, where the guy driving it, it's not really that easy for him to tell, you know, if he... we're going to get into the sun here in a minute. I'm just going to do some kind of U-turn. Let's see. This guy lets me get another little Toyota. Jesus. All right. Anyway, that's the trick in these hybrids and electric cars is, you know, it's using this regenerative braking, which is completely different and separate from the brake pads hitting the rotors. And somehow you've got to make the two work together in a way that the driver doesn't feel the difference. And Toyota has apparently done that in a stellar fashion in this car. Okay, there it is. So look, 2008 Toyota Prius, the one with the smart key, if that matters to anyone. It's a one-owner car, 150,000 miles. Oh, the battery packs on these things. It's a big, giant battery pack comprised of 28 different little batteries. And apparently Toyota has built the thing in such a way that the battery never really gets below 70 or 80. It never really becomes very stressed. And that's how they were able to keep the batteries lasting so long in these cars. And this is also where we get back into that hippie thing, because now instead of, you know, the old guy with the white beard working on air-cooled Beetles, you've got these old guys with white beards rebuilding and recharging broken battery packs. And you know, it's become a bit of a cottage industry. Gone are the days when you had to put some big $5,000 battery in this car. Even from Toyota, they're much cheaper now, but you can buy a rebuilt one installed for about $1,000 off Craigslist. So you know, your exposure for the battery has gone way down and isn't really an issue anymore. Costs about what it does to put valve covers on a Mercedes, so that ain't a big deal. I'm gonna stop now because I just can't take it anymore. And if you have an interest in this car, if you're one of those people, then that's fine. Give us a call, 239-298-8000. Talk to the sales guys. They'd be happy to tell you about it. It's going to be cheap and I want it gone, so you might get a good deal on it. Thank you very much for having a look. aenaples.com, and we'll see you with the next one. And it better goddamn well be a big block side pipe Corvette or something, because I have about had it with these things. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you with the next one.